The project appraisal tool lets you do a dry run of how your CFO might assess your project. If he or she is comfortable trying the tool themselves, it could be a forerunner of a new, more inclusive and rigorous way of assessing the attractiveness of any project in the 21st century. The first thing you'll notice about this tool when you open it up is that it seems to be already completed. So the instruction here says that the light purple cells, not only below but above as well, are automatically populated as the other worksheets are completed, just as they were into the CapEx request template. The project description and the notes are copied from the CapEx request template worksheet, and what you do is you replace the sample starter weights and scores with more appropriate ones. So we put some sample or example or possible weights and scores in there just to show how the calculations work, but certainly the finance folks should be the ones who determine what those percents and scores are. So let's just walk through this a little bit more. So the project description, as you can see in the cell up here, is copied from the CapEx request template. That's pretty straightforward. You scroll down, all of the purpose and the strategic alignment with the strategic plans and the way in which this project helps achieve some of the company's sustainability targets and goals. Again, those are also all copied from the appropriate worksheet. And then we have all of the same numbers that are on the CapEx request template. So all of those are there, and any notes that you put into that CapEx request template are going to be used on this worksheet. So these notes are copied again from that template. So what I'm trying to help you understand is that the basic information in the template is already there. It's been copied from other worksheets that you have completed. So let's go up to the top and take a look at what you do need to pay attention to here. There are columns that are called weight, columns called score, and weighted score, which is the multiplication of the score times the weight. And what we're assuming here is that these various components of the overall project description and results have weight, and that is that the purpose fulfillment has some weight, that it matters in the assessment of a project as to whether or not the project is helping the company fulfill its purpose, that it matters. So we gave a 20% weight to that. There's a 10% improvement just for the fact that the company is going to be making some more money and saving money as a result of this project. If the company is especially risk averse, the weighting for the risk section may be a little bit higher. And then the usual way in which companies assess the attractiveness of a project is on the ROI calculations. So the results of those calculations are pretty heavily weighted, but the actual contributors to those above may also have some weight just on their own. So that's the weight. You don't assign those. These are just sample starter values. The CFO, the finance department, assigns those to whatever comfort level they think is appropriate. And if they don't think that some of these are worth very much, then use their numbers. It's their decision. And the same thing about how the scoring is done. They do the scoring. They decide whether or not the company is, or the project is doing well on this particular area of the attributes of the project. So the score is on a scale of 0 to 5, could be 0 to 10, could be some other way in which the finance folks normally would do this, but we're trying to show the extent to which this project is meeting this particular kind of criteria. And then the calculation is simply done of taking that score and the percent over on the other side and multiplying it, and it comes up with a weighted score for that part of the business case. And the weighted scores are all added up. Out of a possible 500 points, this one got 460. So the percent score out of that 500 is 92%. So that's a way of an individual project. What you would do then is complete a similar kind of sheet for other projects which are competing for the limited amount of capital that the company has, And then the finance folks has a little bit more structured approach to making a decision as to which one is the most worthy of receiving the funding. So that's how this multi-criteria analysis, MCA structured decision-making approach, is used to assess the attractiveness of a particular project. That approach is recommended by the CFO Leadership Network in the document that it wrote called CapEx, and that's why I thought it was appropriate to use in the assessment of a sustainability project. So the key thing here is that we are bringing more structure to a decision than maybe is normal for the company. So if the company would prefer to use high, medium, low instead of a percent, or some other non-numeric way of assessing the attractiveness of a project, that's fine. What we're doing is we're planting seeds, trying to make sure that we are giving an opportunity for a decision to be made that takes into account factors which maybe normally aren't given enough weight. For example, this purpose fulfillment. That's not a numerical kind of thing. It hasn't got any numbers in it. It's just a description, but it matters. And therefore, we're trying to show that it does matter. So the appraisal tool is really a catalyst to a new way of thinking about things and legitimize the way in which these decisions take into account factors which are more intangible, non-financial, and the way in which they need to be in the 21st century. So that's it. Hopefully this worksheet and this video and the other videos in the series have helped you get more comfortable using this tool. It's going to help us as sustainability champions be more credible when we're having conversations with folks who make these significant decisions. Usually they're the CEO or the finance folks. And this tool will be able to back up some of the claims that you're making about your project in concert with other people in the organization whose support you need to be able to implement the project. So best wishes with it.